Welcome to the God Quiz channel. Are you ready for a new challenge? Before we dive in, show your support by giving us a like, subscribing, and commenting Amen below. Don't forget to share how many questions you answered correctly at the end. So, let's get started. Question 1. What type of offerings does Leviticus primarily discuss? A. Grain offerings. B. Sin offerings. C. Peace offerings. D. All of the above. The right answer is letter D. Leviticus discusses various types of offerings, including burnt offerings, grain offerings, peace offerings, sin offerings, and guilt offerings, detailing the procedures and purposes for each. Question 2. Who was the primary audience for the laws given in Leviticus? A. The kings of Israel. B. The Israelite army. C. The priests and Levites. D. The prophets. The right answer is letter C. Then the Lord called to Moses and spoke to him from the tent of meeting, saying, "Speak to the Israelites and tell them, when any of you brings an offering to the Lord, you may bring as your offering an animal from the herd or the flock." Question 3. What was required in a burnt offering? A. A male without defect. B. A female with defect. C. Any type of bird. D. None of the above. The right answer is letter A. If one's offering is a burnt offering from the herd, he is to present an unblemished male. He must bring it to the entrance to the tent of meeting for its acceptance before the Lord. He is to lay his hand on the head of the burnt offering so it can be accepted on his behalf to make atonement for him. Question 4. Which of the following is forbidden in Leviticus as food? A. Fish. B. Locusts. C. Pigs. D. Doves. The right answer is letter C. The rabbit, though it chews the cud, does not have a divided hoof. It is unclean for you. And the pig, though it has a split hoof completely divided, does not chew the cud. It is unclean for you. You must not eat their meat or touch their carcasses. They are unclean for you. Question 5. Which holy day requires fasting and the affliction of one's soul? A. Passover. B. Day of Atonement. C. Feast of Weeks. D. Feast of Booths. The right answer is letter B. Again, the Lord said to Moses, "The 10th day of this 7th month is the Day of Atonement. You shall hold a sacred assembly and humble yourselves, and present an offering made by fire to the Lord. On this day you are not to do any work, for it is the Day of Atonement, when atonement is made for you before the Lord your God." Question 6. What was the punishment for blasphemy in Leviticus? A. Exile. B. Stoning. C. Lashes. D. Imprisonment. The right answer is letter B. And you are to tell the Israelites, if anyone curses his God, he shall bear the consequences of his sin. Whoever blasphemes the name of the Lord must surely be put to death. The whole assembly must surely stone him, whether he is a foreign resident or native. If he blasphemes the name, he must be put to death. Question 7. What was a leper required to do upon being declared clean? A. Offer a sacrifice. B. Shave their head. C. Wear special clothes. D. All of the above. The right answer is letter D. The one being cleansed must wash his clothes, shave off all his hair, and bathe with water. Then he will be ceremonially clean. Afterward, he may enter the camp, but he must remain outside his tent for 7 days. On the 7th day, he must shave off all his hair, his head, his beard, his eyebrows, and the rest of his hair. Question 8. How often was the year of Jubilee celebrated? A. Every 50 years. B. Every 10 years. C. Every 25 years. D. Every 7 years. The right answer is letter A. Then you are to sound the horn far and wide on the 10th day of the 7th month, the Day of Atonement. You shall sound it throughout your land. So you are to consecrate the 50th year and proclaim liberty in the land for all its inhabitants. It shall be your Jubilee, when each of you is to return to his property and to his clan. Question 9. What must not be done with the blood of any game or livestock that is hunted? A. It should not be consumed. B. It should be covered with dirt. C. It should be offered on the altar. D. Both A and B. The right answer is letter D. And if any Israelite or foreigner living among them hunts down a wild animal or bird that may be eaten, he must drain its blood and cover it with dirt. For the life of all flesh is its blood. Therefore I have told the Israelites, you must not eat the blood of any living thing, because the life of all flesh is its blood. Whoever eats it must be cut off. Question 10. What is the penalty for cursing one's father or mother? A. Stoning. B. Exile. C. Flogging. D. Imprisonment. The right answer is letter A. Consecrate yourselves, therefore, and be holy, because I am the Lord your God. 8. And you shall keep my statutes and practice them. I am the Lord who sanctifies you. If anyone curses his father or mother, he must be put to death. He has cursed his father or mother. His blood shall be upon him. Question 11. During which festival were the Israelites to live in booths? A. Passover. B. Feast of Weeks. C. Feast of Trumpets. D. Feast of Booths. The right answer is letter D. You are to dwell in booths for 7 days. All the native-born of Israel must dwell in booths, so that your descendants may know that I made the Israelites dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. So Moses announced to the Israelites the appointed feasts of the Lord. feasts. Question 12. Which animal is specifically mentioned for the Day of Atonement sacrifice? A. Bull. B. Lamb. C. Goat. D. Dove. The right answer is letter C. Then he shall take the 2 goats and present them before the Lord at the entrance to the tent of meeting. After Aaron casts lots for the 2 goats, one for the Lord and the other for the scapegoat, he shall present the goat chosen by lot for the Lord and sacrifice it as a sin offering. Question 13. What must be done with the fat of the sacrificial animals? A. It must be eaten by the priests. B. It must be burned on the altar. C. It must be given to the poor. D. It must be thrown away. The right answer is letter B. Then the priest is to burn the food on the altar as an offering made by fire, a pleasing aroma. All the fat is the Lord's. This is a permanent statute for the generations to come. Wherever you live, you must not eat any fat or any blood. Question 14. What is forbidden to be eaten from any animal in Leviticus? A. The meat. B. The fat. C. The marrow. D. The blood. The right answer is letter D. If anyone from the house of Israel or a foreigner living among them eats any blood, I will set my face against that person and cut him off from among his people. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you to make atonement for your souls upon the altar, for it is the blood that makes atonement for the soul. Question 15. Which tribe is set apart to serve as priests? A. Judah. B. Benjamin. C. Levi. D. Ephraim. The right answer is letter C. The Levites, however, were not numbered along with them by the tribe of their fathers. For the Lord had said to Moses, "Do not number the tribe of Levi in the census with the other Israelites. Instead, you are to appoint the Levites over the tabernacle of the testimony, all its furnishings, and everything in it." Question 16. What must a priest do if he becomes ceremonially unclean? A. Leave the camp. B. Wash his clothes. C. Offer a sin offering. D. All of the above. The right answer is letter D. If a descendant of Aaron has a skin disease or a discharge, he may not eat the sacred offerings until he is clean. Whoever touches anything defiled by a corpse, or by a man who has an emission of semen, or whoever touches a crawling creature, or a person that makes him unclean, whatever the uncleanness may be. Question 17. Who must the high priest marry according to Leviticus? A. A virgin. B. A widow. C. A priest's daughter. D. A foreigner. The right answer is letter A. I am the Lord. The woman he marries must be a virgin. He is not to marry a widow, a divorced woman, or one defiled by prostitution. He is to marry a virgin from his own people, so that he does not defile his offspring among his people, for I am the Lord who sanctifies him. Question 18. What is the prescribed way to treat a foreigner living among the Israelites? A. As a native born. B. As a slave. C. With suspicion. D. With indifference. The right answer is letter A. When a foreigner resides with you in your land, you must not oppress him. You must treat the foreigner living among you as native born and love him as yourself, for you were foreigners in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. You must not use dishonest measures of length, weight, or volume. Question 19. What should not be practiced in Leviticus according to God's law? A. Eating meat. B. Shaving the head. C. Tattooing the body. D. All of the above. The right answer is letter C. When a foreigner resides with you in your land, you must not oppress him. You must treat the foreigner living among you as native born and love him as yourself, for you were foreigners in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. You must not use dishonest measures of length, weight, or volume. Question 20. What is the punishment for engaging in idol worship? A. Excommunication. B. Stoning. C. Sacrifices. D. None of the above. The right answer is letter B. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Tell the Israelites, any Israelite or foreigner living in Israel who gives any of his children to Molech must be put to death. The people of the land are to stone him, and I will set my face against that man and cut him off from his people, because by giving his offspring to Molech, he has defiled my sanctuary and profaned my holy name." Question 21. What type of land management practice is prescribed for agricultural land? A. Year-round cultivation. B. Biennial resting. C. Triennial planting. D. Sabbatical year rest. The right answer is letter D. Speak to the Israelites and say to them, "When you enter the land that I am giving you, the land itself must observe a Sabbath to the Lord. For 6 years you may sow your field and prune your vineyard and gather its crops. But in the 7th year there shall be a Sabbath of complete rest for the land, a Sabbath to the Lord." Question 22. Who was not allowed to eat the holy food from the offerings? A. An unclean person. B. A non-Levite. C. Women. D. Children. The right answer is letter A. If a descendant of Aaron has a skin disease or a discharge, he may not eat the sacred offerings until he is clean. Whoever touches anything defiled by a corpse or by a man who has an emission of semen, or whoever touches a crawling creature or a person that makes him unclean, whatever the uncleanness may be. Question 23. What is the rule regarding the fruit of a tree in its first 3 years? A. It must be eaten promptly. B. It is considered forbidden. C. It must be offered as a first fruit. D. It can be sold. The right answer is letter B. When you enter the land and plant any kind of tree for food, you shall regard the fruit as forbidden. For 3 years it will be forbidden to you and must not be eaten. In the 4th year, all its fruit must be consecrated as a praise offering to the Lord. Question 24. How were priests to keep their hair according to Leviticus? A. Shaven. B. Long and uncut. C. Neatly trimmed. D. It is not specified. The right answer is letter C. He is not to defile himself for those related to him by marriage, and so profane himself. Priests must not make bald spots on their heads, shave off the edges of their beards, or make cuts in their bodies. They must be holy to their God and not profane the name of their God. Question 25. Which grain is mentioned for use in offerings? A. Wheat. B. Rice. C. Corn. D. Barley. The right answer is letter D. But if he who consecrated his house redeems it, he must add a fifth to the assessed value, and it will belong to him. If a man consecrates to the Lord a parcel of his land, then your valuation shall be proportional to the seed required for it, 50 shekels of silver for every homer of barley seed. Question 26. What specific role did Aaron's sons play? A. Warriors. B. Priests. C. Shepherds. D. Craftsmen. The right answer is letter B. Now, Aaron's sons Nadab and Abihu took their censers, put fire in them and added incense, and offered unauthorized fire before the Lord, contrary to his command. So fire came out from the presence of the Lord and consumed them, and they died in the presence of the Lord. Question 27. What was the consequence of not observing the Sabbath? A. Loss of land. B. Death. C. Exile. D. Poverty. The right answer is letter B. For this will be a sign between me and you for the generations to come, so that you may know that I am the Lord who sanctifies you. Keep the Sabbath, for it is holy to you. Anyone who profanes it must surely be put to death. Whoever does any work on that day must be cut off from among his people. Question 28. How was mold treated in houses according to Leviticus? A. Ignored. B. The house was cleaned. C. The house was destroyed. D. The house was sold. The right answer is letter A. If the mildew has spread in the house, it is a destructive mildew. The house is unclean. It must be torn down with its stones, its timbers, and all its plaster, and taken outside the city to an unclean place. Anyone who enters the house during any of the days that it is closed up will be unclean until evening. Write on the comments how many questions you answered correctly. If you like this quiz, rate it with the like button. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Amen.